how's it going, critter people? I hope you all are doing well. We are looking at another video that was suggested a very long time ago, so I'm so sorry it took me this long to get to it. But another one by Joel Beckman. The title of it says, Hysteria, noun, 1, exaggerated or uncontrollable emotion or excitement. Bull Terrier versus Beckman. So, he's already labeling these bull terriers as being exaggerated or having uncontrollable emotion or excitement. I will agree with him on the sense that when they react, it is very likely due to an emotion or an excitement out of fear or just overexcitement or frustration, which can all be, I would think, labeled as emotions. But he doesn't care how animals feel and think. So I'm just going to be going over this, everything in the footage. All the footage here being used is under the Fair Use Act for education, criticism, trying to give my point of view, what I see as a trainer myself, an educated one, and from my own experience and just common sense. So let's get started.
Times are usually when there's some sort of resource. So it's like the bed or the
They both have head halters on. This dog already sounds like they were snorting. I mean, this breed already has a hard enough time breathing, so I don't know if the head halter is really going to help that. I mean, it's not necessarily closing up their sinuses, but I don't know. It could be, bending their neck down. They're having trouble breathing.
Couch, or even with me.
I love the bull terrier, by the way.
And that's where we have issues.
He would kind of start posturing and growling, and then he would lunge at her. And usually they'd kind of like disperse, but then it got more like it seemed like he was more deliberately trying to attack her. And then he did bite her a few times, and that's really when we started getting concerned.
Yeah, he would gouge
Lito,
her.
down.
He would what?
He'd like gouge her pretty significantly.
Yeah, he broke the skin a couple times. Happened, he just went after her on the couch or something. But
so what happened there? There was like a little cut there as the dog came up, and now the dogs are gone. I'm not saying anything happened. I was just, I'm just interested in seeing, because he likes to cut a lot of things out.
He would kind of posture and stiffen up, and if we tried to move him, then he would growl. So we could kind of
at
see
you.
So it sounds like maybe
and they
it's
start growling at us
guarding.
when we try to move him off the couch or the bed. And at that point, I was like, all right,
So it sounds like resource
that's
guarding.
enough. You can't growl at us.
And that's when you first have an issue like that, where you see the dog is starting a behavior that is concerning to you, or anywhere that showing any behavior that you do not want. That's the first step, the first thing that you want to work on. Put that on the top of your list. So as soon as he's growling at you, find someone who is educated, preferably in force-free training, because anyone can use force, but it's going to teach the animal to shut down and stop showing that behavior or become more aggressive. And then we have to use more unnecessary, abusive tactics from uneducated trainers out there to teach the dog to not growl. When the dog is growling, saying, I'm growling out of fear, I'm afraid I'm going to lose this spot, or I'm just showing a natural behavior to me.
To the point where he's attacking her 3-4 times an evening, which is just hellish.
I adore these two dogs.
Okay, it's just the head halter.
But that doesn't mean that
I wouldn't leave this thing hanging. You could very easily smack the dog in the eye, in the face. It can get its foot caught in here. This to me just looks like a hazard.
that black dog right there doesn't need a ton of discipline in his life. Discipline that these guys have been giving, but they need to give more. They've done a good job, but they need to do a great job. Why? Because they have bull terriers.
I disagree with that. He says just because, he's acting like just because you have a certain breed, they need more, discipline. Okay, I have a Shiba Inu. He's 12 years old. I tried that whole nonsense when he was 6 months old and I didn't know what I was doing, and I went to a trainer and thought they knew what they were doing, and they acted just like Joel, and they were just, uneducated and made my Shiba worse because everybody said you have to use force and you have to show him who's boss and this and that. That made his reactivity so much worse. When I went to, of all places, a PetSmart trainer, they reinforced my belief in positive reinforcement, and Don has also taught me he demands respect. Since that point on, I've only used positive reinforcement with him. Are there natural consequences? Sure. But I have actively, when training him to do anything, leave the ferret alone, leave the cats alone, cooperate with other, help other clients who have really aggressive dogs. I've used that with him and all my clients. He taught me that nonsense about discipline just because I'm a certain breed is just nonsense. And it's uneducated trainers that feed this information to the owners to say, no, you need to discipline this dog because it's a certain breed.
Pound the toughest dogs in the world. The white dog is probably the best bull terrier I've ever seen. The other dog is one of the best bull terriers I've ever seen. These dogs are notorious for dog aggression, and the black dog has some dog aggression, as you've heard. And so we need to up the discipline.
No,
okay?
You need to up the understanding and education. Don't up the... I mean, this just shows his ignorance tenfold. They've already been disciplining. That's probably why the dogs are the way they are. Because you automatically think that, cookie cutter, that you discipline everything that you have, especially bull terrier. That's probably why he's resource guarding. That's probably why he's attacking her. Instead of understanding them as an emotional, sentient being that is still a dog, even though they're bull terrier, they're used for bull baiting and fighting and all this nonsense. Doesn't mean, you could have a Chihuahua that's just super aggressive, or a Shih Tzu that's super aggressive, and have a Pit Bull that is super calm and friendly. It's about nature and nurture.
He cannot be attacking his sister, who is the nicest dog in the world, for no reason. Because he thinks the couch is his. Because he thinks mom is his. Because he thinks food is his. He cannot...
It's because I'm going to assume if they've raised them since puppies, it's how they've raised him, and it's the owner's fault, not the dog's fault. It's a human fault. I'm not saying this to hurt anybody. It's just I take accountability for my own pets and my behaviors and my actions with my pets, because they can't ask to come into my home. They don't ask to come into my family. They don't ask to be my dog, okay? So if you take responsibility and acknowledge what you did wrong, then that's more than half the battle. Then you can do better by your dog, by showing your dog respect, that you understand that what you were doing wasn't helping and it caused these issues.
Do it. And I'm going to show you in this video what I do to help this dog, and then tell them what to do to help him long term, because you're going to see moments in this video of this dog change. Him literally change and go, oh, okay, this guy runs the show. Meaning me, and then...
He's only going to listen when you have the threat of violence or pain compliance. He's only going to listen to that, which is going to make him that much... He's going to lose... This dog will lose his bond with these people. He's not going to have a great time with them.
So there's going to be a still frame in a minute. You can't do it. The same thinking that is, I feel like attacking that dog for no reason.
No, that's not the way the dog is thinking. You are ignorant. By spreading this ignorance, ignorance leads to more ignorance. No animal does something for no reason. Maybe humans do, because they can, but there's always a reason behind a behavior, especially with a dog, in this case. He does not attack for no reason. He's not just bored so he decides to bully her. He can, but chances are if he's resource guarding, he's attacking his sister or any other dog in the premises or even person because he's protecting a resource. It is for a reason. It's not for no reason. The fact that you spread that ignorance is just alarming.
Is the same thinking on I want to launch myself at this guy. They are similar.
It's usually because he's fearful, and now he's talking about kneeing a dog and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. He's just showing that with his behavior. They don't just launch themselves at someone for no reason. Generally, it's out of fear or a learned behavior that it is enjoyable or somehow reinforcing to scare people because you make a game out of it. I don't know.
Don't get it twisted. They are similar, and positive reinforcement is not going to fix this problem.
There's just a straight up lie. Straight up lie. I'm telling you right now, he's a liar. He's ignorant. He doesn't know. I'm telling you, I specialize in this. I work with this. Positive reinforcement will help these animals. If you say you use positive reinforcement and it didn't do anything, you weren't using positive reinforcement the correct way. You weren't using positive reinforcement. You're using maybe a mixture or a balanced method. If you do it the right way, you don't have to even touch the dog or have a leash connected to them to teach them to not go after anybody. Why is it I can do it and so many, why is it I can do it? I'm not special. I am educated.
It won't. Discipline is going to fix this problem.
No,
This dog
No, again, I know I'm going back to the previous thought, liar, but discipline will help. Discipline can fix this. Is it necessary? No. But positive reinforcement can and will fix this.
I do not mess around this guy, and got a knee right there. Okay, so now you're gonna hear, you're gonna see right afterwards. It still doesn't calm him down. Okay, he's still like all jumpy and bouncy.
Well, what happened after that, though?
And then he's gonna do it again, and I'm gonna knee him again, and we will do this all day long. So he comes up right there, gets another knee right there.
You're just getting him in the gut. Then
now,
why don't you show the actual action? Why do you pause it there? What are you trying to hide? You didn't just put your knee up. I mean, I would imagine that you got him in the gut, but I don't know with the way your knee was.
It changed a little bit, and you can see it in his body language.
Did he
There's
yelp?
just something different about his body language and the way.
Because he said, "Ouch, that hurts. This person is maybe not fun. I'm gonna walk away."
He looks at me after that, and I don't care if the little white dog jumps. She's not attacking other dogs. I'm gonna give that dog tons of grace. She goes.
Dumb. You shouldn't. If you don't want one dog to jump, you shouldn't let the other dog jump. And no matter if they're jumping because they attack dogs, which he wasn't trying to attack him. This other dog, the black bull terrier, was not trying to attack Joel. He just looked like he was excited. And bull terriers have a lot of energy. And just because whether they're friendly or not, I wouldn't allow any jumping at all. Just like if I'm working with a dog who barks a lot, and the people say, we don't want this dog to bark at the train that goes by every evening, but yet they let him bark at the geese, then I say, if you don't want him to bark at the train, you don't let him bark at all, period. Now, I don't correct him for barking. I just set him up for success to reward him when he's not barking, or I remove him from the situation when he is barking, or whatever he's barking at.
Through a gate before I release her. Doesn't matter to me. It matters to me when these dogs are attacking other dogs. Now you're going to see him again with the body language that is going to prove to you.
He's more fearful of you now. He's
that what I did worked. In a minute, you're going to see that again.
Which is a smart dog.
So, how often when this black dog is running around in the previous video have you seen this dog look at anybody for any period of time? Look at him.
That's more fear right there. He's looking at him, holding eye contact and pointing. He knows he's talking to him. And since he had 2 negative reactions with this guy, that foot going up, that's more anxiety. I don't think that's necessarily
look at him
good.
now.
I don't want any dog to look at me and like that and move away when I'm looking at them. I want them to feel welcome to come up to me and see that I'm a source of comfort, not fear.
Different dog. Walks away. Feels different about human beings.
That's not going to control anything. That's not going to fix anything. He's just not going to mess with you. But anybody else, he will.
Now he needs to feel different about his human beings. Dogs that look at me like that dog looked at me and then eventually look at them like he looked at me.
Oh, so he wants to teach these people to make their dog fear them. Okay, great.
Good.
Pushes him off.
Sit. You're a good boy. You're a good boy.
You're too close to him. You're causing him to want to jump. This is your fault. I mean, I do this all the time. Like, I try to read the dog that if I'm bending over, because they're a short dog, or, most dogs are. They're not eye to eye with us. If they are, then that's kind of a scary thought. But if I'm bending over, I am keeping an eye out, and I expect them to jump. So I try to plan that I get up, anticipate that they're going to jump, so I can stand up before they do, so I can reward them. If I bend over and I'm petting and they jump, okay, I'm going to practice that again, where I'm going to lean over less and then stand up, reward. Lean over the same amount, stand up, reward, and then bend down a little bit more and a little bit more. And I desensitize them in that moment.
You're a good boy. Okay, come on.
Come on, I'll be soft. I'll be nice when he's like, I just touched him and he like ready to launch. Yeah.
It wasn't because he was trying to attack you though. He's just excited.
Little missile. Sit.
I'll be nice. Sit. God, dude. They don't want anything to do with you. And the reason why you want to jump, because a lot of people, when a human bends over, our face is the business end, just like another dog. It's kind of a rude greeting, to go face to face with another dog. It's rude of people to do that to a dog. It can easily get you can get yourself bitten. But in this case, he just seemed like he was just excited.
You're a good boy. Yeah, firmness, man.
No,
You're
you don't
a good
need
boy.
firmness.
You're a nice boy. You're a nice boy. You be a nice boy to everybody.
He's amping him up too much. He's setting him up to get a correction. I don't know that he's doing it on purpose, but he may be too ignorant that he doesn't even realize what he's doing. But I think he's probably smarter than that. I think he's trying to set him up.
Okay, you be a nice boy. Don't be a mean boy.
Don't be a mean boy. Well, then don't have stupid humans around him. He's not being a mean boy. He's a very good boy. He's a sweet boy. I would love to play with him and his sister.
But like softness at times. I need to be soft with him because I've been hard with him. You guys need to be hard with him because you've been soft with him.
No, I disagree with that. You have to, because otherwise he wouldn't come anywhere near you. You wouldn't be able to show any progress with him if you weren't playing the nice guy. Because you need him in the gut, need him in the chest twice. And who knows what else happened.
You know?
He cut after that still frame. I think that's very important to ask what happened in between that point and what happened after the cut.
You could go see that doggy?
He didn't show the follow through.
Okay.
Lip lick?
Yes. You like him. You like him.
You're attacking your sister.
Ouch.
You do not get to pull me wherever you want to pull me.
No, it doesn't matter. He would do this with any dog. He's not doing this because he's attacking the sister. And you know what, genius? The dog will never connect this interaction with attacking his sister. He's not going to stop attacking his sister because of this. Ignorance.
There are consequences. I am going to win.
Ouch, ouch.
I am stronger than you.
No, you're not. You're only going to win, Joker. You're only going to win because you have tools and leverage around this animal's face. Without this animal could easily tear you apart. You would never win. I don't care what you say or what you think. Without your tools, you are nothing. You would get no results. Don't even kid yourself.
You need to be saying to your dog, not saying, right there.
Ouch.
He says, oh,
very dangerous. And the head halter company says not to use it this way because it is very dangerous. You can injure your animal. No kidding. A lot of leverage here. He doesn't need to use a full fist. He can just use a couple hands because it's around the animal's face, around their skull, around their spinal column. There's lots of nerves here. Very dangerous.
I want to go see Prince.
Ouch.
I don't care what you want.
Ouch.
I don't know what you're...
So this smart dog is trying to stall here. He doesn't want to come towards him, but he can get him over there because he uses pain and force.
Intentions are.
Ouch.
I know they're bad
Ouch.
with your sister. So, we're going to jump back again. This is go to original audio and whatnot. But this is the firmness I'm talking about.
This is abuse. I don't care what you say. This is unnecessary. This is abuse. This dog went from happy to shut down. His tail is tucked. He is fearful. I'm glad she's having a good time at least.
The pulling on the leash I'm talking about. You can't let it happen.
You do not need to do this to teach a dog not to pull. I will put, as I do with every time, I will put my video of how I teach a dog not to pull in the description below. I teach every dog how to walk in a harness and a collar, a nice wide collar. They have a nice wide collar on this guy because it's not like this rope, if this were like a slip rope or slip lead or something, it's tiny around the neck and it cuts into it.
They got to know you're stronger than them.
Good boy.
No, they don't. They need to know that they can trust you and that if you want to do that, fine. I think it's just a dumb way to do it. They don't need to know that you're stronger than them. In doing so, I think that just shows that you're weaker than them. But they're not going to think that. They don't think that. They don't care. I would rather my dog trust me than respect me any day.
You're the best boy.
And because he's so aggressive with him, it's like the Stockholm Syndrome, Beaten wife syndrome. Oh, I just punched you in the face, I'll beat you. But when I tell you, hey, I love you, honey, I'm sorry, please forgive me, or I give you any compliment, of course it's going to mean something to you. He's been ripping this dog's face off, dragging him around, kneed him in the chest and possibly in the gut. But now he says, oh, good boy, and that actually means something. Normally, without all this nonsense, it wouldn't mean squat.
To see the impulse control right. I'm talking to him nice right there.
I wouldn't be
He
pointing.
wanted to
good,
jump.
Very good. This would be a moment where, this pointing and eye contact can also be seen as an aggressive move to the dog. Now, if I'm interacting with the dog, I'm not pointing at them like that. But if I'm talking to them and they want to get up and they don't, you better believe I'm going to give them a jackpot reward. I'm going to really reward them because they're working on their own impulse control. And I'm not going to have any leash on them or any head halter or anything like that.
And he said, I'm not going to do it on this guy. You see him go forward
Lip
and
lick.
then not do it?
You
One
see
of the
the
first...
lip lick? You see the ears back, all the other stuff.
First times in his life, he stopped even though he wanted to. He's awesome. I adore this dog.
So whale eyes, tail wagging. He, it looks like he's kind of stiff there, like he wants to play. That's good body language. He wants to go sniff.
He's a great dog. That's why I give him so much love. He deserves the love in the middle. See him checking with me?
Because, he wanted to play, and he wouldn't. This could cause a fight right here. Because if he wants to play with Prince, and then you correct him on the face, he could take that as, he could start to redirect on Prince, or it can cause them, to become aggressive and reactive.
He deserves... Now, that wasn't bad, by the way. His jump on Prince was not bad.
He can't look behind him or turn his head to see what's coming up behind him without, this over-controlling person over here pulling on his face.
He deserves the love, but he deserves discipline as well. Because he needs it.
It looks like it is also connected to the collar, but it's still controlling his face.
Headed. Literally and figuratively. These guys have an extremely hard head. Okay, and they know it, and they're extremely strong, and they know it.
I mean, it's so easy to make an excuse and say, no, these dogs know this, they know that. I doubt the dog knows they have a hard head. Okay, they're not hard-headed in the sense, figuratively, as in, like they're stubborn. That just means there's a bunch of stupid humans who don't know how to work with them as a breed. Physically, could they have a hard head? Sure. But I don't think they know that, and they don't use it to their advantage.
But you're stronger. When they jump, you walk into them, or you knee them. When they pull, you don't let it happen.
That's very bad, very bad advice, and I'm surprised. I don't know if he's had any kind of a lawsuit yet or not, but I'm counting down the days until he gives this stupid advice, and somebody doesn't, and their animal attacks another animal, or gets killed, or something happens because they followed his advice. Because he directly tells you, do this with your dog.
And it changes them. These stubborn breeds...
Now, see? Stubborn breed. This guy is being all that. This guy is very, stiff and tall and trying to show him he's all that. And he's over here with a nice wiggly butt, very nice and, proper. I would tell him to back down. Like, I know it could be a play stance, but look, this guy needs to be checked a couple of times. Like, you're here to help the other dogs. You're not here to bully them.
These things change them. They will... do whatever they want to do until you tell them they can't do it.
Okay, Prince is very friendly with other dogs. Looks like.
And you tell him in no uncertain terms. Look, Prince loves him.
He wants to play.
Prince loves him. They love each other. He's an awesome dog.
Dogs are not stubborn. Again, like I said, humans are just stupid and they don't understand how dogs work, or animals, or anything else. They try to label them as stubborn because it's an excuse for their own ignorance, because they don't know how to work with the dog. It can't possibly be me as a human that's wrong.
Dog. But he's attacking his sister. And everything I did today...
And you should not correct him. I would have gotten on Prince's case. If this guy had corrected Prince, I would have been okay with it. If Prince were my dog, or if my Shiba were to do this to another dog, I would absolutely get on his case and say, hey, get out of there. Or, have the other dog, if they corrected him, I would be fine with it. But I wouldn't put the dogs in this situation. I would never have a dog on leash. Dangerous.
It's meant to get him to not attack his sister because you don't fight around the boss.
This doesn't mean anything. He's still going to attack his sister. He does not connect this behavior with that behavior at home even. That's why I always recommend in-home training.
And they are the bosses. And I'm showing them how to be boss.
And he's dealing with it, which is really good.
He's dealing with it because he has to, because you are forcing him to with your tools. Without your tools, he would have no control over this dog. And none of this is he's going to go right back to fighting with his sister at home unless his owners constantly have this on him and constantly berate him and overcorrect him until he shuts down and develops learned helplessness.
That was a half mount twice, and he's dealt with it, which is awesome. You don't want a dog who's just like, no one can do anything to me.
No, a man being dominant like that and trying to dominate him, he's very well, from what I've seen, within his right to tell him to back off and leave it at that. We don't need to go getting into a massive fight or anything like that. Just tell him to back off. Hey, respect my space, and move on.
I know he's your friend.
I don't know that he's even his friend yet. He has to drag him around.
Come on, buddy. Come on. Okay.
So he goes with him because he knows that he will yank him and jerk him. But when he's walking with his owner, he wants to leave. He doesn't want to come anywhere over here.
Tang, and we're going to go to you, then you.
And anybody who's going to say, his tail's wagging, dogs wag their tail when they're stimulated, okay? The dogs, you saw earlier, it was up and happy. This is a rounded top line. This dog is not happy. Just because they're wagging their tail, it's more of a submissive appeasement wag.
Steve, then you. Okay, next thing is, I want you to just walk a little faster, okay? Come on.
Ouch.
Good boy. And then now I want you to start putting in some like good boys, like when you just see greatness from him.
Greatness. This is all nonsense.
Good boy.
The dog isn't learning anything. Okay. He's just so tired and overstimulated, and just his little brain has been fried from all that he's learned here. This doesn't mean anything.
Hey, Joel, I'll come with you. Sorry, I was looking over there.
No, that's not. Hey, sorry, you're God to me. I'm your prisoner. You're the prison guard. I will follow you, otherwise I'm going to get hurt. That is all it is. There's no, I'm sorry. There's, I'm here because I have to be. If you didn't have your stupid tools on me, I would be gone. Poor thing.
He can be behind. We're giving corrections for, like, leaving us for when we turn and he just doesn't come. Like, even right
he didn't
there,
leave you. He didn't want to go with you. He's only here because of your leash. I wonder if they took him off the leash and he ran away, and then the owner had to go catch him again. I don't know if that's what happened or not, but we randomly cut over here to the owner walking him back to Joel.
Correction, just because corrections can be so, like, much.
Yeah, that's why we don't need to use them or rely on them. There's a whole level to corrections. With positive reinforcement, it's called negative punishment. It sounds bad because we think of the word punishment or correction, but negative punishment is we remove something the dog likes. If I have a ball and I'm ready to throw it and the dog jumps at me, I put the ball behind my back, I remove that source, the dog stands on 4 feet, or they sit, then I bring the ball back out again and I'm ready to throw it. If they stay on the ground while I throw the ball, then they can go get it. Positive reinforcement. If they try to jump at it again, then I take it away. Negative punishment, removing something as a punishment for the dog. Not adding something, not, all this other nonsense.
Sit.
Again, I want you just commanding, yelling at the dog. You can probably just say sit and the dog would sit. I don't know why he worries so much about this. He's just over-controlling.
They're asking some sits. Stay.
You're not asking, you're telling. You're commanding him. You're yelling at him to sit. And his tail tucks.
Throughout the walk, or throughout today,
he's like shaking just as he approaches him. Lip lick.
All muscle. It's just crazy. It's just
lip lick.
It's just
stress pant.
It's crazy.
He is just so nervous to be in the presence of that guy.
Really like how he's with dogs, because that's this.
He's just so tired of walking back and forth and back and forth. No, don't pop him on the face. You're going to rely on this tool for everything, too. So, all right, that's enough of that. I'm just so irritated with the ignorance of humans sometimes, and especially trainers, and I don't know. Feel free to subscribe if you would like to. You can like or dislike. Leave a comment if you have anything to say. Go give your critters some kind of loving. Say howdy do for me. And until next time, stay positive.